Sam Taggart, the man. Brother, just wanted to say huge props and huge shout out to you for doing something that so few would ever do.
Okay, I want everybody on their feet. I want everybody on their feet. This is my jam. This is my jam. I got soul, but I'm not a soldier. Let's hear it. Got soul, but I'm not a soldier. I got soul, but I'm not a soldier. I got soul. Come on, everybody, let's hear it. I got soul, but I'm not a soldier. I got soul, but I'm not a soldier. Here we go. Welcome, everybody. This is so exciting. Okay, last year, I brought up Ellie. And anyway, now I'm already crying. Chad Hymas, that was inspiring. Like, I was in tears like the whole time. Raise your hand if that was just like, I was like, oh crap, I gotta go after him? Darn. That was my poor planning. But when he showed the video at the very end, his kids were about the same age as mine. And I wanted to bring them up again. And I was like, how cool to show his kids. He had to make a choice. He had to say, you guys can sit down. You guys are so cool. Thank you. But he had to say something. He had to say, I'm either in or out. Behind the scenes, how hard would it be to tell your wife not to go leave you? It's like, you don't want to be married to me anymore. Think of that. Kids, you don't want to grow up with a dad that's in a wheelchair? That was powerful. And last year I did something, and it hit home. Raise your hand if you were here last year. Raise your hand, hi. Raise your hand if you're here for the first time, raise your hand. The real question is, raise your hand if you're gonna be here next year. And why I ask that question is because how many people give up? It doesn't have to be about buying my tickets or whatever. I don't care about that. It's how many people do we lose every year? How many people quit? How many people stay in the box and don't do what Chad talked about? How many people fail and go back to living the normal life? So what I'm going to teach my girls, and last year I did this, maybe I just make this a tradition, is an affirmation statement. It's we can be anything. Ellie, do you remember yours?
I can do anything.
What did you say?
I do everything. I'm strong.
It's that. It's going back to the little kid of saying, I can do anything. Love you, girls. Let's give it up. Hey, go. Because I guarantee when Chad was sitting there in a wheelchair, in a hospital bed saying, my life will never be the same, paralyzed, my whole speech goes super close with him. And it's about how you guys can reach your true potential without making the same mistakes that a lot of the people has made. Like he talked about that one mistake. And he talked about being paralyzed because of your limiting beliefs. a lot of you guys are paralyzed, including myself in a lot of ways. As you guys know, over the last year and a half, I've started a podcast. So raise your hand if you like the podcast, if you listen to it. Okay, I had a guy come up to me today, and he's like, it changed my summer. He's like, I was at 10 accounts. I had all 13 reps of mine quit, and I was by myself, and I had to make a choice. I started listening to podcasts every day. And he went and finished the summer with like 150 accounts in the last 2 months. And that story this morning was inspiring. I was like, holy cow. So if you haven't subscribed, go subscribe. It's free stuff. It's the top 100. So today I'm going to talk about the principles, just like Tim Ferriss's book, Tools of Titans, great book. He just compiles this podcast and he says, here's the greatest tips from all the best people out there. And I said, well, why don't I just compile it and put it into a speech? So that's what I'm going to talk on, so you guys can reach your true potential. So my goal today is, one, to have more buy-in, so you can be more, you can sell more, and you can all make more. Does everybody want to do that? Okay, everybody wants to be more, sell more, make more? Okay, that's what I like. And the second thing is, the only way to do that is to really invest in yourself, to believe, to invest in your people. And I think the only way to do that really is using the tools that we have. Like I've gone out on a limb to provide some great opportunities for you guys. So I'm going to talk about those at the end if I have your permission, okay? So there's one of my very, very first podcasts, Chris Malink. He talked about the power hour. I actually had to do it twice. Second time was good. If you're in here, you're awesome. And then Mark Cram talked about it, and Ian talked about it in his thing. It's just cultural. It's about the morning. You get up, you read 15 minutes of spiritual, 15 minutes of this, meditation, affirmation, statement. You know, it's like this power hour to dominate your day, right? So anyway, I was like out in Texas like 3 months ago, consulting a little roofing company. Where's my little roofers? Yeah, little roofers. Anyway, so I'm out there, and they were sucking. They had like 10 reps, and I was like, it's all about structure. Today I'm going to talk about, it's all about structure. It's all about putting in systems in place and investing in that. And I was like, there's a thing that I learned called the power hour, which I think it would help you guys. If you can get all your guys to do this power hour, it'll help kind of give your guys more structure. Anyway, they called me like 2 weeks after consulting with them, and they were like, dude, we tripled in sales. And I was like, wow. They're like, yeah, we implemented the power hour. I'm like, you tripled in sales because you implemented the power hour. Wasn't expecting that good of results, but good job. He's like, yeah, we finally got every single one of our reps to knock 1 hour every single day. I either suck at teaching or you are just, what? Like, let's implement the Power 8 hour. Come on, man. Like, what the freak? But anyway, I was like, good job. Like, triple in sales, that's a big win. Good job. Anyway, I was like, now the Power 2 hour, you know what I mean? And it was crazy. So today I'm going to really talk about these 3 major killers of this job. Guys, I'm the only one on this main stage who's going to talk to you that actually really, really gets what you do. And I still do it. I knocked with over 50, I've consulted over 50 companies in the last year and a half. And I've been in like 15 different states, I think. And we travel around doing these podcasts. You guys have all seen it. I'm like all over the map every time. Thank you, wife, for letting me do that. I'm like Chad all of a sudden. And even like West Virginia and Virginia, where it's like when you get divorced, you're still cousins. Like, I've met some weird people. Like, you guys, I've been all over doing this job. And I found there's 3 major killers. The first one is commitment. So often I watch these companies that hire me, that I work with, and I've seen reps, and I've interviewed I've worked with the struggling pain ones, and I've interviewed the really top ones. So I'm gonna let's merge the gap. Let's take you to the next level. And the first one is just commitment. I walk around and I see reps that are like not committed. Now I'm gonna ask you, this might be embarrassing, but is everybody gonna can everybody at least be honest with themselves with this question? Okay? By raise of hands, raise your hand if you swiped your credit card, you pulled out the card and bought your own ticket to come today. Raise your hand. Be honest, don't lie. Okay. Why do I ask that question? It's because it's sad to see how this industry has disempowered the individual to commit themselves to the job. Because the day I started investing in my own self, instead of being like, manager, because you recruit me, because I make you money, you should pay for my ticket. You should be the one that invests in my learning. You should be the one that does it. It's pathetic. The second I started to sell at a high level was the day I started making a stronger commitment to myself, and I started owning my results. Whether it's a company, a rep, a manager, buy in. The second one is people are just lazy. The Power Hour tripled their freaking results. What'd you do the rest of the day? My favorite thing I ask people is they're like, I work with a lot of solar companies, a lot of roofers, a lot of these ones that have appointments and shiz. And I'm like, they're like, well, I got to go to my adjuster meet and I got to build the proposals and I got to this. And I'm like, you're just coming up with stupid excuses to not knock. You realize that? Amen, right? It's just all an excuse to keep yourself off the doors. And then the third one is benighted. Raise your hand if you know the definition of benighted. Because I sure didn't. I found this really cool word, and I was like, well, I still got to use it. Existing in a state of intellectual, moral, and in social darkness. You're unenlightened. And the biggest killer that I've noticed is people just don't know what they don't know. When I go interview the Cutco guys, I'm like, mind blown. I'm like, wow, you recruited 10,000 people? Like, you freaking have a revolving, like, wow. And then I go interview this guy, and I'm like, wow. And you just don't know what you don't know, right? So people go around just doing the same thing over and over and over again, never thinking that they need to have any kind of breakthrough, never thinking about learning. I have this whole university, it's so funny. People are like, oh, yeah, I just put my guys through it. When they're done, they're done. I'm like, what? What about all the other guys? Oh, yeah, they don't need to learn anymore. Oh, okay. No wonder you keep getting crappy results. Because going back to the guys that I interviewed on the podcast, they had what's called a power hour, right? They're still learning every day, studying the stinking training manuals, the videos every day, right? And these guys, Chris Malink sold 600 satellite, Golden Door. Mark Cram runs, these are podcasts, 500 reps. But guess what? He's the one waking up in the morning saying, I have something to learn. So I go to Virginia. I get hired about a year and a half ago by a solar company out in Virginia. This is great. I go out there, traditional solar company. I'm talking like traditional. And they got company cars, all of them got them wrapped, 20 sales guys, all cars, phones, radio ads, commercials, the typical 9 yards, biggest solar company in Virginia. They hire me, they're like, we want to start a door-to-door program. And I'm like, okay, I'm the guy. And I got two conditions, two simple conditions. The first one is you got to commit and you have to buy into everything I say. And when I say goes, and you apply it, because I'm going to model exactly what the greatest solar companies do, and I'm going to apply it exactly into what you guys do, because you're losing thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars every month is what they were losing. Like, if you want to stay in business, then you just listen to me. And they're like, okay, we buy in. I'm like, you're going to pay me to do so too, right? And they're like, yep, we're doing this. So I was like, I'm going to cut your guys' commission. So if you're in here, some of you guys are in here, sorry. I'm going to cut your guys' commission by about 20%. They're like, okay. I'm going to raise prices to the customer by about 30%. And they're like, okay. That's when you start making money. And then we're going to stop your ad spend so much because that's stupid. We're going to get rid of the lead babies. They're like, but they've been here for 4 years. I'm like, we're going to get rid of them, or they're just going to fall out on their own. It's just going to happen. I'm like, crap's going to hit the fan, and you're going to hate me for a minute. Just trust me. You just structured wrong. So we go in there. So I train the owners, right? And then I'm like, all right, it's the sales guy's turn. Yeah, they make me be the bearer of bad news. I'm this new guy they hire, come in. I'm like, oh yeah, and by the way, guys, we're going to come in here. We're going to cut all your guys' commissions. Oh, and you're going to charge the customer more. And guess what? You guys get to knock doors all day. Yeah! Where are my peeps? You remember that day? Where are you at? Okay. Oh, there they are. They remember that. And I'm like, but I promise you'll make more. I promise. Like, really? People don't even knock doors in Virginia. That's like a Utah thing, isn't it? Like, no one knocks doors here. And I was like, oh. Okay. So I was like, kind of pissed. And I was like, all right, I can tell you or I can show you. Which would you rather have? Show me, right? Because I was like, you don't believe me, do you? You don't believe me I can help you make more money by paying you less? No. Just watch. I was like, how long does it take to sell one? How many you sell in a month? Like, it takes about a week to sell one, and we sell a couple a month. Okay. And you pay how much for those leads? I was like, let me show you how I do it. So I take them on the streets. Play this. Press play. Hi. I took all 20 of them on the street, by the way.
Get him.
I was like, just all come. It's working. I didn't know what I was going to do. I was like, how do I train 20 people at a time?
Sure.
All their cars lined up.
How you doing, man? Hey, congratulations.
Okay, you're good. Next slide. So guess what? We sold them. First door we knocked. I was like, wow, it's a miracle. We knocked one door, sold them. I was like, you want to do it again? They're like, what do you mean? Yeah, let's do it again. We closed 2 deals, $30,000 each, $60,000 in 2 doors in 4 hours, same day solar deals. And that's where the first law applied, the law of buy-in. They were like, okay, we believe you. We've never seen a sale test less than a week, and we just did 2 in like 4 hours. And I just got dropped off in a random neighborhood. I'm wearing a suit jacket. Anybody see me knock on a suit jacket? No, I wasn't ready for this. I'm like, I didn't come ready for this. Let's do this. I'll show you. Anyway, so that's where the first law comes in. It's the law of buy-in. You got to buy into the product. You got to buy into the culture. You got to buy into the leaders. You got to buy into their why. You got to buy into the method. Because guess what? My dad hired me. He was a mission president over the missionaries, like in the church. Church is true, boys. Go to New Jersey, and he's like, hey, we want to teach all these 200 and something missionaries how to knock doors. So I meet with the assistants. They're like over the door, or they're over all the missionaries that are over the missionaries. And I was like, so how many like lessons do you teach a month or whatever in door knocking? They're like, oh, we don't door knock. That just doesn't work. It's New Jersey. Raise your hand if you knock in New Jersey. Can you knock in New Jersey? Okay, that's what I said. I was like, no, you can knock in New Jersey. And I was like, wait, so you're telling me you just don't because the method doesn't work? You know my style. Put on my coat. This time I put on the suit coat. Let's go do this. First house, teach a lesson. They teach like one out of like every 8 weeks they would get one from knocking doors. First door, teach a lesson. Second door, teach a lesson. I think we got a no on the third one. Fifth door, teach a lesson. Within 4 hours, we taught 3 lessons more than it taught in 8 weeks. And I'm like, it's the method, you just haven't bought into it yet. It's not, it can't be done. It's just buy into the method, learn how to do it right, and you can get more results than pretty much any way marketing possible. I say it's the most efficient way to do business is door to door. Stew on that for a minute. And last one is themselves. People struggle buying into themselves. Buy into yourself. Because people buy into the leader, and then they buy into the vision. And a lot of you guys, we struggle at really creating this buy-in. And so I want to thank you guys for letting me kind of be your leader in this stewarding of the tribe, right? We're like this tribe. And the second law is grit. There's 3 things that we deal with in this job, in my opinion. The first one is the unknown. It's like, let's talk about the fears. The brain has this initial, like the amygdala that says, okay, what's going on? And door-to-door has so much unknown. I had 2 choices when I went to Virginia, right? I could have said, well, what if I go out and get my face kicked in? Did I know what the first door was going to look like? Did I know what it would be like knocking the doors with 20 people behind me? Did I? Did I know who was behind that door? Did I have it planned out? Like, let's go to Tommy's house over here in Virginia. Never been to frickin' Richmond or where, Charlottesville. Jeez, I never even knew solar existed here. But guess what? I've trained my brain to do what? Not care about the unknown. But guess what so many people do? They stop themselves. It's paralyzing, the fear of the unknown. It's paralyzing, like when Chad rolls his freaking wheelchair over here, it's paralyzing the fear of what? That rejection. And it's paralyzing the outside influence that we deal with as door-to-door people. We are trained to say, this isn't a real job. And tomorrow my speech is going to be mind-blowing about that. So I'm not going to touch on it tons today. But it's the outside influences that actually stop us from really reaching a true potential because we're told that we're not supposed to do this very long. Am I right? But the guys that I know that have done it very long, including myself, have made millions of dollars overcoming these three fears. I don't care what's behind that door, I'll still go knock it. And if somebody rejects me, guess what I do? Guess what? I've probably taken more no's than most of you guys in this room. That's how I deal with it. Whoops. So, I'm going to skip that story. We'll just go to this one. Okay, so the grit killers. Complacency. I'll tell it. I had a rep in 2014. I don't know if he's in here, Matt. I told him I was going to just call him out. One of the perfect recruits, right? So good. Bodybuilder, sharp as a tack. Hire him. He does 5 preseason, or 5 his first week, 7 his second week. I'm like, this guy's going to be top rookie in the company. Like, this is the ideal, like, I found a baller. We talked about it yesterday. I was like, how much have you ever made in your life? Like, the best year. He's 21 years old. He's like, my best year ever income is 20 grand. I said, okay, ideally, if you go out for the summer, how much would you make? It's like 30, 40, and I'd be stoked. Okay. Worst case scenario, you suck. What do you need to live? Pay for the top ramen. It's like, probably 15. It's like, okay. Are you following my point here? Why did I ask these 3 questions? Expectations, right? So he comes out and he kills it. Makes more money in a week than he made in a month. 2 months, he did 50 accounts, which the average person does about 40, 50 accounts. I'm like, dude, you just made 20 grand in 2 months. That's what you made in all year last year. Congratulations. It's the biggest mistake I ever made in my life. With that guy. Killed him. Guess how many he sold the next week? 0. And the next week? 0. And the next week? And the next week? 1. Then like 2, and he did 6 the entire second half of the summer. Raise your hand if that's happened to you. He called it out. He's vulnerable. He came up to me. He's like, the problem I have is just the consistency. It's like, I go out and crush, and then it's like, pfft. It's because of this. It's because you get complacent. He made what he needed to make. And then he buys some nice car because he thinks he's going to make $1 million, and he gets this commission currency. He's like, oh, that's just like 2 sales. It's like 5 sales. Who does that? Commission currency. See what I'm saying? You guys all get that, right? Anyway, the same summer I break my ankle playing Ultimate Frisbee. You guys are cool if I go a little over, right? Okay, cool. Break my ankle. It's a quick story. I had a choice, just like when a hay bale fell on Chad Hymas, right? I was number 1 rep in the company at this point, and I had a lot of people tailing me. And I was like, fetch. What does Matt Dial do? This is the best thing. I get 2 weeks off of knocking doors. This is the easy excuse. This is knocked, the neighborhood's bad, whatever. Those excuses suck. But I got my ankle broken, that's a good one. Right? I might as well just use it, Netflix and chill with the wife. That year I went on to be the number 1 rep. That same day I sold 3. The same week I sold 20. Doctor told me to stay off for 2 weeks. I was like, no way. Limiting belief. I won't listen. Grit. 2 rules. Emotional resilience. We can't get rid of that blueprint that we all are naturally designed with, right? It's how we're wired. But we can control how we process it. Second one is work ethic. This is my favorite quote. This is a super good quote by one of the richest men in the world. He says, you will continue to suffer if you have an emotional reaction to everything that is said to you. We take a lot of crap. Do we not take a lot of crap in door to door? Like, is this not like the crap of the crap job sometimes? And you're just like, okay. I have those days, guys. You're just like, I want to say something really mean back to you right now, but I won't because I'm good. That's rude. You don't even know me. You know what I'm talking about, those days? You're like, did you really just insult my character? I haven't even said a word yet. It's true. True power is resistance. If words control you, that means everyone else can control you. Breathe, allow things to flow, allow things to process. Okay, so manage the system. So this is the hack. This is the thing I've learned over the 100 podcasts. If you have a system and you manage it, you'll get results. Because raise your hand if you guys want to have a crazy 2019. Yeah. Let's do it. Are we going to have a crazy 19? Yeah. Oh my goodness. Buy my stuff. Yeah. Knock another's door. I'm buy my stuff. You've seen this video. Buy my stuff. I like this. This is the David Reader guy. Okay. So manage the system, not the people. First thing is structure. Don't expect your people just to go out. You know how many times I go to a company, they're like, I just want to hire that guy that just like goes and crushes it. Okay, so you're going to hire a guy and you're like, yeah, go crush it. Raise your hand if that works for you guys, because it sure doesn't work in all the 100 podcasts I've interviewed. Have a structure, a path to flow them in, a process. The second one is a routine. Trust is built in consistency. I go to so many people and they're like, oh, we have a meeting on Monday, and then next week, oh yeah, we're just not gonna have a meeting. Oh yeah, guys, let's have a meeting on Friday. Your people just stop believing in you at that point because you're inconsistent. Trusting in yourself. If you wanna be a top rep, my favorite, one of the top pest control guys, he goes, I drink a Coke at 5 o'clock every day. I do this. I have my top button buttoned. I wear the same hat. Chris Malink, that guy that did that, he wore the same damn shirt all 4 months. I'm like, what? He's like, yeah, I wash it every 2 days. That is weird, but it's all about a routine. He's just like, and I get the same results. That power hour is the routine that makes the top reps. It's what they do off the doors. Training the right material is what creates them on the doors. Everybody nod your head and say, oh, I get it now. I get it. Yes. Drop the ego. I'll leave the story out. Impressing people, because we got this great feel-good tool, Instagram, which I hated until I started using it, and I still hate it, but I do it. You impress people because you get a bunch of likes. I got a bunch of thumbs up. Had 100 views today. It's truly different than being truly impressive. So many people are like, how do I recruit more guys? Be truly impressive instead of stop trying to impress. One of my reps that year that I did 400, he goes and has his best years. His first year he made 40 grand. And he goes and buys a BMW because the regional above me told him to buy a BMW so that he could recruit more. So you just spent your entire year on a BMW and then you call me the next month for a loan while I'm still driving a Kia and just made $500,000. I don't give a damn about being impressive. I'm like, go buy real estate. Go do something cool. Just be impressive. Stop trying to impress. And the last one is have a system for your energy. If you have a structure, a system for your energy, it doesn't matter what you're saying a lot of times. Biohacks, like physical and mental hacks to control your energy and create a system around it daily where you can monitor the levels of energy. I had a transition in solar where I went to a new solar company. They had, a big solar company. They had all these dealers. And to be new, I was like, okay, fill me in, like catch me up to speed. I was the new VP opening up their entire direct program. So I go to the other VP and I was like, okay, tell me what you got. What do you got for like training stuff? He's like, oh, I got a couple videos. I'm like, that's it? So I was like, how many dealers did you guys hire last year? He's like, yeah, we hired like 100 dealers. And then I said, how many of them are still around? 2. I was like, wait, you're going on to tell me that you hired 100 dealers. That means lunches, flights, signing people. These are companies that onboard, like all the time and energy it took to hire 100 of them, and you have 2 that stuck around. And that's when it hit me, like so hard. This is kind of when this vision started to circulate, guys. As I go, holy crap. Jonah talked about the ghost of summers past. It's those 98 that failed that I want to talk to. I asked him, I was like, what if you still had 20? Would your company be different? Would we be in a different place? Think about that as reps. How many of you guys hire tons of reps and you spend all your time recruiting and lunches and bonuses and this and that? And it's the same thing. It's the same story. It's the 98. Tomorrow I'm going to touch on this a lot more, but this is what inspired this. As I said, law number 3 is just the 98 didn't get any love. They didn't get the right leadership. They didn't get the right tools. They didn't get the right training. They just didn't know what they were doing. They were like, I want to be an entrepreneur. I want to be a top performer. And they get ambitious because they're going to go start a business. They're going to be whatever they're doing. Because you guys are all business owners. They just didn't know what they didn't know. They were benighted. They were unenlightened. And work slide. Is it working? Oh yeah, it's working. So the top experts in the world are ardent students. The day you stop learning, you're definitely not an expert. They were living in moral, cultural, intellectual darkness, those 98. They're benighted. I love that. So I'm going to invite you guys today to be knights, be experts. Who raise your hand if you guys want to be an expert in what you do? Because it's crazy. People spend hundreds of thousands of dollars on education going to be a doctor, which is an expert. Can we not be expert door knockers? Expert entrepreneurs? Right? Okay. So, the saddest part about all of this, and I put this whole thing together, and guys, I was very particular on the speakers I picked for the workshops, for the main stage, because I was like, how do I have a perfect agenda to make you guys successful? The university, everything. The saddest part of all this is one, you guys come, you learn, and you do nothing. It's my biggest fear. You know how many people last year that came back this year because it feels good to come to something like this? That's one thing. But it's another thing. I love hearing the stories of people that came last year, listening to podcasts, university customers, all the people I've worked with over this last 12 months. And their business is at a whole different game. That's what I like to see. And the second thing is I put my whole livelihood on the line. I literally quit the VP of sales job, which we did really well and still doing really well. And you guys do nothing. So can I ask you guys permission? I have one request. Can I take the next 10, 15 minutes to go over a perfect crafted program that I spent the last 6 months putting together for you guys? Can I do that? Okay, cool. So I have 2 invitations. One, you come, you learn, and you take action. The second one is you don't put this for granted. You take the office serious. You take this, you really think about this while I go through this and say, do I have the commitment to my own success to do something about it? Chad said something that hit me. He goes, we're paralyzed. And it took a freaking hail bale to fall on me for me to think outside the box and think what much bigger than I was currently thinking. So I put together 3 programs that fit a rep, leaders, and owners. One's the university, I'll go over that. One's the summits, and one's the Expert Circle, which is like a mastermind. But I wanted to give you guys something for free. Who likes free stuff? So I was like, okay, let's do something for free. Okay, I want to hear it. Everybody that has access to the Door-to-Door University right now, let's hear it. Lots of you guys are using it. It's an awesome tool. But don't hate me for this, but I'm going to give this out. It's over 1,000 solar videos, roofing, pest, alarms, each of these industries. So what you get, so the first thing you guys are going to get is access to course on mindset, course on door approach. And when I say door approach, we filmed in the field, hidden camera live, like real stuff. It's like raw. Objections, same thing, raw, like real, like good training from the experts. Area management, course on closing, like on the book, it's got like every course, psychology of it, the behind the scenes, leadership, meetings, like how to run a meeting, how to build your culture, how to do your systems. Recruiting, I just put in over 50 videos just recently over on how to recruit, how to find them, how to hire them, how to train them, how to build them. And then the last one is the Expert Series, which is all the podcasts combined. I clip them up into little clips and I organize them on finance, on taxes, on personal development. And everybody listens to the podcast, so I just film all of them and I clip them up so you can have them in an organized manner. Because there's always nugget on minute 35 and you guys might have quit at minute 20, right? Okay, so let's play this video. This is one of our customers.
What's up guys, Jake Kelly here with Skyline Security. I just wanted to take a second and share my experience with Door-to-Door University or D2DCON. I'm a big believer of D2DCON. The reason why is because it does fulfill a need in our industry and especially in my team. As we are starting to scale out, a lot of managers probably find the same problem, is you can't be everywhere at the same time. And what Sam has been able to do is to allow us to be able to get basic training into guys that need it and allow managers and leaders to be able to focus on other things so that we can continue to scale out. So let me give you an example. We worked very closely with Sam Taggart this summer and took on Door-to-Door University as a company. And what we were able to do is we were able to have leaders continue to recruit, sell, manage, instead of having that classroom time that can be hours. As we started recruiting nationwide and bringing them into certain markets, we were able to get them up and running and give them the knowledge that they needed before even showing up to the marketplace. So we had a couple of guys this summer, for example, that recruited out of state. And what we did as a company is we said, hey, we need you to go through Door-to-Door University. You need to know what the equipment is, what it does, what the pitch is, get your mindset right and prepare for what is about to happen, which is obviously knocking on doors, and it's going to give you the opportunity to change your life. So one of the biggest benefits that I experienced with Door-to-Door University is not only the scalability, but it really is a like a springing pad for new recruits to be able to get up to the same level as everybody else. A perfect example is if you have a company that either does year-round programs or summer programs, and what's happening is you're having new recruits come into the middle of the summer. Instead of having to stop what you're doing and affect that momentum, you can have a brand new rep that knows nothing about the industry be up to speed with everybody else day one when they show up. So that's one of the biggest things that I really appreciated about what Sam Taggart and his team has been able to do, is allow companies such as Skyline to be able to focus on what they're good at and allow somebody such as Sam and his team be able to train a lot of our guys. Just the basics, you know, what a door sensor is and how does it work, what a smoke sensor is, how do you turn a system on, how do you turn a system off, what's basic body language and things like that, which obviously we teach in home. And we have videos, but to be able to get at that level and be taught by a professional and someone that's actually well known in our industry allows us to be able to focus on other things and more than anything be able to scale out. If you really want to scale out and focus on other things, allow Door-to-Door University to fill that niche for you.
Let's hear for Jake. So my favorite thing, raise your hand if you like training on paperwork. Me neither. So it just saves you, like, I'll go over this. So what you're going to get is you're going to get DDU for free. So if you're a leader, I might speak to the leaders, like the owners and top managers and stuff. You get full access over 1,000 video content. It's normally $3,400. If you're a rep, if you go online to DDU right now, you could buy it. It's only $1,000. So it's $3,457 total value. But the second thing I'm going to give you guys is access to the platform. As you can see, it wasn't branded DDU, it was branded their company. That's the cool part about what I do, is I go in and I white label, give you access to the back end so that we can co-create your university. So you can film a video on paperwork, have your people just watch that. And so when somebody's like, oh yeah, where do I put the price? Well, how does a door sensor work? You're like, watch the videos. Versus taking 45 minutes out of your day to be like, yeah, let me train you on this stuff again. Raise your hand if that is the most annoying thing you deal with in your business. You're like, really? You're gonna ask me again on how to do the most dumbest, I mean, but they're coming in new, right? So I want to just be able to give you the platform. You can test them, quiz them, see their accountability. You add your own video. So here's an example. I'll show you an example. The second thing you get with the platform is the expert support. So what that means is we got an expert, a D2D expert that we've assigned to you. So I hire like professional. You guys heard Jonah. I've got Tyler. I've got Steve. I got a bunch of experts that have done what you do. They come out and they coach you once a month. Or they coach you over the phone once a month. They go through the platform with you and they say, okay, how do we help your guys invest more into this? How do we help your guys, what videos are we missing? We should film with you so that you can really maximize your platform. Second thing you're gonna get is bulk content upload. You're also gonna get custom URL, like your own domains, like abcroofinguniversity.com. You get over 100 video edits of custom course content. You literally film a video. Here's my door approach, guys. Blah, 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 blah. You upload it to Drive. We put your logo, snippet, whatever, and we put it into the platform. So we're co-creating your own training platforms because a lot of you guys don't have anything. It's embarrassing because I don't want more of those 98. My mission was to say, let's not have the 98 anymore, leave. It's because they just didn't have the right tools. They were unenlightened. Then I say, okay, let's have you have an implementation specialist. Let's customize this. Let's like work with you on how to put a video here, the logo here, the this, the format, the things in the menu. Let's link to your DocuSigns. Let's link to your apps. We integrate with some of these apps like Sales Rabbits and stuff like that to make this simple. So total value is $9,974. Here's an example of one of our customers, and they turned into an expert. He was so excited about this that he's like, can I help you? He built a solar company, we brand it, we put his logos, that's what it'll look like. We film with him. We have over 50 clients. Some of you guys might recognize some of these. These are just a few of them. Where we build out their universities. Roofing, pest, solar, alarms, satellite, from the Golden Door winners. So if all your reps had the training from the guys that earned Golden Doors, don't you think they could be up-leveled to something different than they're currently performing at? Absolutely. It's model what works. I just put it into a generic what works. So what you'll be able to do is you're going to be able to take your team start to finish without even talking to them. My favorite customer, I had a company out in Canada, an alarm company, calls me. He's like, dude, I put a guy on the platform for 2 weeks, and he sold 10 his first week and 15 his second week. But you want to know what the coolest part is? This is alarms. It's a lot. You want to know what the coolest part is? I never met him. Like, wait, you had a guy just go 2 weeks on my platform, then start knocking, do 10 and 15, and you never even met him. It's like, yeah, start to finish, know exactly what to do. You raise the bar of your experienced reps. Remember we talked about the power hour. Let's get content that is interesting for the guys that are veterans and don't stop learning. You retain your people. You keep the 98, which makes you guys more money, more overrides, more whatever. And then you get an internal social media-like platform for your own company. You get to engage your people and create content and communication. What you're going to save on is videographers, editors, scripters, admin support, your time, leaders, the reps that always quit because the retention, other LMSs, other platforms that you may be spending a lot of money on, and then printing out manuals and stuff. But the biggest thing you're going to save on is time. So many of us make so much money selling, recruiting, and leading that we don't take the time to build something this robust. I took the last year and a half to do it. So we just keep sawing, and we don't take time to sharpen that saw. Couple customers, roofer out in Maryland. An alarm guy hits me up. Well, lead right here, where's he at? they're using Cardone University, spending thousands of dollars every month. And he's like, but it didn't teach my people how to sell solar. I still had to apply it and retrofit it to what we do. So what you're gonna get is you're gonna get full access to the content, which is $3,400, and then you're gonna get full access to the platform. That's normally $9,900. But then next, that's $13,000. So then I said, what else could I do? So I want to introduce you to a couple people. So I was like, we're all ADD, right? Raise your hand if you have ADD. Yeah. Okay, cool. So sitting and watching videos is sometimes tough. Online courses, I would fail tremendously sometimes. So how do I take the guys to the top? And it's providing this in-person summit. So where are my summit guys? Come up here real quick. Where are you at? So I hand-selected 5, one from each industry, and then I'm going to bring in some other ones that aren't on this poster. So I said, what if I took the top solar guy that did 2.8 megawatts, Michael. Oh, wait, they moved your stair. 2.8 megawatts. Jim, get up here. I said, what if I took a guy that consistently sells over 300, Adam? I took a guy that's consistently sold and built massive training programs, a guy that played in the NFL that did 1,000 pest control counts his first year, and I took a guy that Jim Johnson has coached over hundreds of contractors and roofers that have done over $3-4 million in revenue. And I said, what if I just built the dream team and put a summit on? Wouldn't that be cool? It's like a mini this, but like one-on-one time. That's cool. It's one thing to watch a workshop for 40 minutes, but it's another thing to spend 3.5 days in Las Vegas where you get to go jam with them, and this is what you get. You get one-on-one training with the best in each industry. You get industry-specific content. So it's like Mitch will break out for an entire morning and spend one-on-one time role-playing with the sales skills. So it's all on sales. It's a sales summit. So it's like, okay, how do we critique your pitch? How do we do this? How do we do this? I mean, Adam built the entire training program for Vivint. Like, that's big. I said, let's get the best. But I said, I can't do this. If I made it this big and had thousands of people there, then you don't get the intimate feel where you get one-on-one training. Who was up here in our little jam session yesterday? The Q&A, right? Was that cool or what? That was the best part of the show so far. We had these 5 dudes and 6 other dudes, and we got to just pick their brains. That was our workshop. It was fun. You guys missed out. But that's what you get to do for 3.5 days. So that's in Vegas. First come, first serve. We can only take 20 seats per industry because I want to keep it small and intimate. Okay, you guys have a seat. You guys are awesome. Hey, let's give it up for these guys for just being great. These guys are awesome. Hey, thank you. Thank you, guys. Okay, so that's the summit. So what you're going to get is you're going to get the university. I just built like the coolest thing ever. You're going to get the university. You're going to get all the content. You're going to get the platform. You're going to get the summit. It's like normally $16,000, close to 17,000. But I was like, one more thing. That's for sales guys. What about the owners? Raise your hand if you lead a team out here. You lead a team? Okay. So I said, if you're running a business, starting a company, trying to break off, doing your own thing, I put together the circle. This is like dope. This is like the high level. Not every one of you guys in this room even qualify for this. It is very exclusive, where I'm only going to take about 20 guys to Puerto Vallarta, remove them on a training on leadership and influence. Last year I did Park City. Normally $6,900 per trip because all your board, all that's paid for. And then the Lake Powell Summit again. So we took 15 CEOs last year. Raise your hand if you went on that. I know VP was there. Where's Waleed? You got Nate Creer, the owner of New Star. You had these guys, the owner of Vinks. All owners, pest control, solar, roofers. And we have a breakthrough on leadership and growth. So I want to have a little testimony from one of our people that went. It's pretty cool. Some of you guys might recognize him.
Travis Williams, Regional for Active. This event has not only provided a lot of fun and excitement, but it's been a huge yoga. Bonding experience with a bunch of guys that I didn't know before I walked in the door. I feel like I've taken my just overall skill set as a recruiter and a trainer easily to the next level, if not jump 2 levels, in being able to tap into all sorts of experience inside my industry and outside my industry. And it's just taken me way outside my comfort zone on multiple occasions, which has created, I think, a lot of growth. I think growth has had in those zones of discomfort and awkwardness at times. And it's definitely pushed me to that level.
This is a guy that manages over 30,000 pest control accounts. He's still got something to learn, people. So what you're gonna get in the circle is not only 2 massive summits in amazing places, but you also get 8 one-hour personal phone call, or 8 one-hour calls with me. I only wanna work with those that are the highest committed, guys like him. Then you get 6 months of mastermind coaching. And when I say it's a mastermind, we learn from each other. When you've got guys like that managing 30,000 accounts, running pest control companies, running DaVinci, for example, that had 60 reps. I mean, the owner of them is a 24-year-old kid. Not kid, but guys like that, there's something to learn from each other. So it's a group. So what you're gonna get is you're gonna get the full access to the content. You're gonna get all the platform and all the support behind it where we make the videos. We're gonna get Sales Summit. You're also, so if you're an owner, you get the summit and all the other 3, so you get 3 of those in the circle. You get the coaching. It's normally gonna be $42,000. So let me ask you guys a question. If this is all you did, if all it did was finally got you a training platform that could motivate your sales guys to go do this on their own, if that's all it did, wouldn't it be worth it? Would it be worth it? Would you spend $45,000 just to say, I don't have to sit there and train on paperwork every freaking time, and I can build and scale and put in as many people as I want to my system, my structure, so that they could go be awesome and I gave them the tools they needed? Just that alone, in my opinion, is worth it. Because it's that one guy that goes on to be your future VP of sales. It's that one recruit that goes on to be the future manager that you're probably losing because you didn't give them the right tools. Wouldn't it be worth it to take just all your reps sold a couple more deals every month? Or you just sold a couple more deals every month? Wouldn't it just be all worth it if that was all it did for you? Wouldn't it? Like if somebody said all you had to pay is $45,000 and I'll teach you to sell 200 to 400, would that $45,000 be worth my money? Heck yes it would. In our job, it's very calculable. It's a couple more sales. And wouldn't it be worth it? Teach you to sell more, be more, and make more. So, I want to show one more quick video, and then I'm going to wrap up. I know time is short.
Hey, I'm Waleed Halti, the CEO of DaVinci Energy, and if you're on the fence of coming to the next summit, what I'd recommend, I was on that same boat. I thought I had too much going on. I thought that I knew enough that I didn't need to come to this summit, but something tipped me over, and I'm so glad that I did. So the question to ask yourself is why not? And if you can be in a space where you're disconnected and you're able to think and connect with like-minded individuals about your problems, their problems, opportunities, then you've really got nothing to lose. But I've been able to get so much out of it as someone that's seen myself as didn't need to do it or that was successful enough, but I'm so excited to bring back the value that I got here back to my team and serve them with what I got out of it.
So let's hear from Waleed. That was good. He's my boy. So I had 2 choices. My first choice was I could go really cheap and I could make a program that was like, I'll sell everybody. One salesman to another. But I was like, that just wouldn't incentivize me to give the most value. So second option was like, I was like, it's gonna require a little bit higher of investment, but in exchange, I can devote more of my team, videographers, editors, support systems, experts. I could actually spend money to go hire the best to go support you. So in option number 2. So you ask yourself, like, what is growth worth to you if you could take and double your sales just like Segura? Because guess what happened to that company in Virginia? When I went out there and they finally bought in, they did more revenue in October than they did in the entire year of 2016. So the owner asked me when he hired me, he said, if you could bring me up 10 to 20% as a business, I'd be like stoked. And I was like, okay, let's set the bar low, okay. I was like, yeah, I can do that. I was like, if I don't double or triple your company, I'm gonna be pissed. I didn't tell him that, but I would have been. And they doubled this year. What's that worth to you? Proud of you guys, by the way. They came out. So Really, that's the question. It's like if you had a team performing at a higher average, how much would you pay that to make that happen? So couldn't you see how this would be a good deal for the leaders to have all the corporate content, all the editing and support, all the sales, like you get the sales summit, you get the circle, you get like high-level leadership training because you deserve it, instead of you guys always having to train your people. And if you're a rep, couldn't you see it be worth it to have free access or full access to the university and go get trained by all these guys that just came up here in your field, the Golden Door guys? But I said, wait a minute, I'm gonna do one more quick bonus. And I said, look, for those that are highly committed, the biggest killer is lack of commitment. Those that say, I wanna buy in, double down, and have the biggest 2019 of their year. I said, look, I'm gonna give you guys one extra thing. And it's a one-day film and in-person visit. Most of you guys are from out of state. So we'll come to your office, train your people, train you as a leader, film with you. It's normally $5,000 a day. We're gonna throw that in there too. So what you're gonna get is you're gonna get all of this. Instead of $50,000, instead of $44.99, it's only $29,898. Super small investment for what you're gonna get. In the summit, if you're just a sales rep and that's the fit for you, it's only $1,900. So now you guys have two choices. Option one is you can continue to live the way you live, which they call insanity, and do nothing. Or option two is you can pony up a small little bit of money, finally take action, and invest in yourself instead of doing nothing and give it a shot. So I want you guys to think for a second. So wrap up, what you're gonna get is if you're a leader and owner and the platform and the circle makes the most sense for you, you get the full university for free, you get the summits, you get the circle, the coaching, the visit. Or if you're a rep and you're just needing the access to the summit and the university, you get the full 12-month access to the university. So the extra bonus is you get a VIP dinner. If you buy anything tonight, any of those two packages, you also get to come and party with us in Chad Imus tonight. All the Golden Door winners and stuff like that for free. So, reps, pull out your phones. If this is something, I can only take 20 seats per industry. Those will fill up fast. We've already sold quite a few. So you will see the ticker go down. Go to this website if you want to be one of those 20 in your industry, meaning it's 20 pest, 20 solar, 20 satellite. It's first come, first serve. So that is the link. You can just go sign up right now. It's very simple. Put in the link, DDD Ticket Spice, or you can go to DDDexperts.com and click Summit, and it'll take you there. You can literally just check out right now, and you can say, I want my spot. Pick your industry. If you're an owner, you got to go meet with the expert. So what I'm going to invite you guys to do is commit today to a high 2019. Who's want to have a killer 2019? Raise your hand. If that is you, you will stand up, follow me to the booth, and we'll get you rolling on the circle, and let's go. Okay, so follow me. We're going to get rolling, and then we're going to go to lunch. So let's do this.